So my name is Joseph Davis, and my mini lesson plan is for first grade language arts. Um, my instructional goal is to understand how, or to teach students how to break words into syllables and what syllables are. So the instructional objective is students will be able to understand how to decode two syllable words and how to put words into two syllables. The South Dakota English Language Arts Standard is 1.RF.3, and that is um, knowing and applying grade level phonics and word analysis skills in decoding words. Um, the characteristics of learners, I kind of struggled with to find at first, but when I found them, they kind of just popped at me, and I noticed what I could use and what they worked really well. Those were merging the ability to use visual imagery to enhance the memory, as this is going to be a hands-on lesson, as I hope to be able to teach a little out of the box and a little more hands-on when I become a teacher. Pursuit of interesting and enjoyable activities, again, works with my hands-on lesson and how I'm my teaching. I hope to have a teaching style. And then again, it'll also help them hopefully increase focus on their performance goals. So my task analysis, the kind of tasks I kind of struggled with to figure out, but I believe it's going to be a subject matter analysis. Just basically because it's with language arts, a lot of the stuff is interconnected, and you don't really notice it. Um, so the task is going to be able to look at new words and understand how to say them by breaking them up into different syllables. To do this, students are going to need to understand what a syllable is, how to break syllables up, and then understand the different sounds that vowels can make. So like your hard A, your soft A, like ah, a, e, a lot of those. So how I plan on teaching this class is kind of something that one of my pre-practicum teachers has been doing, as she does 6th and 7th graders, language arts and science, and she does this with her students that aren't reading at a 6th and 7th grade level. And I thought that it was a really great way to get students involved, where they don't really feel like they're going to be learning, but at the same time they're going to be getting a lot out of this exercise. So what we would do is I would do just kind of like a warm-up review with a lot of one-syllable words. Dog, cat, now, he, she, me. And I would have the students say them with me as I wrote them on the board, just so they understand what to do. I would also ask them for words that they believe are one-syllable words. And then if the students aren't still understanding that, I would get with them kind of later on and show them what a one-syllable word looks like and why that, or I would show the class why it can't be broken up. And then I would show them a video of some different ways on how to break it up, and I will give you a quick little sneak peek at that video.
A syllable is a word part. All words are made up of syllables. Knowing that words are broken down into syllables will help you read and write. Let's look at a few ways to find syllables in words. Let's try the syllable clap. Clap with me as I say these words. Cat, sunset, radio, book, teacher, tractor. Let's try another way to find syllables. It's called robot speak. Let's say these words like the robot. Cat, words together again, but first, put your hand below your chin like this. Pay attention to when your mouth opens and closes. Cat, sunset, tractor. Did you notice that your mouth opens whenever you say a vowel? Each time your mouth opens, you've said another syllable. Radio. That.
So that kind of gives you an idea of what the video would be like. There's a lot of different methods. You can tap, you can clap, you can speak like a robot, you can put your hand underneath your chin. Another one that the teacher that I did was tapping your foot. There's a lot of different ways to tell how syllables are worked, or how words are separated into syllables. So after that, I would give a couple examples, like they did in the video, of some 2-syllable, 3-syllable, and 4-syllable, and maybe some 5, 6, and 7 syllables, explaining to them and showing them how I would break them up and what they would do. After we broke the words up, I would have students, I would individually call on students, and I would write a 2-syllable or a 3-syllable word on the board, and I would have the students come up and decide where to draw a line in between the letters on what they believe separates the word into 2 or 3 syllables. And then I would ask them what kind of method they used to choose that, if they clapped it, tapped it, spoke it like a robot, or put their hand underneath their chin. I would also use words that students might not know, so they may be able to pick up on how knowing syllables allows you to understand different words that you have not seen, or be able to say words that you have not seen. If the student gets it correct on their first try, I would have a crumpled piece of paper, again, like my pre-practicum teacher and I had come up with, and I would have a designated spot in the room that students would attempt to toss the piece of paper into. If they made the piece of paper into the bin, they would be allowed to take not only one little prize from the prize box, but they'd be able to take 2 as just a little extra incentive. I would continue this lesson until all the students had completed either a 2 or a 3-syllable word. For students that were maybe struggling a little bit, I would continue. I would split them up into groups. Maybe someone who was good at the syllables with someone who wasn't quite as good, so they could kind of do some focused syllable words. And then we also have, they would have a worksheet with a list of a bunch of different words that I would give them after we did the group syllable words. And I would bring the other students that had really struggled a little more than others, and I would work with them as a group so I can see where they're misinterpreting how to divide words into 2, 3, or 4 syllables, and so on and so forth. And then as the students complete the worksheet, I would give them another little worksheet with maybe bigger words, a little more challenging words, just to try and keep them busy until I made sure that all the students had a pretty good basis and idea of where syllables come from, how to say them, how you can be able to understand new words and read new words by knowing how many syllables they have and how each syllable is pronounced. And again, you can continue this lesson as long as you need to until the students do. And if you have to continue it on to a new day where you have to get some separate time, just do a refresher course for all the other students. And then again, take your students that are struggling and choose choose some just start with simple 2-syllable words. Don't worry about any 3 or 4. Maybe you're more advanced, challenge them with some 4-syllable words. Challenge them maybe with some 5-syllable words if they're getting that point, so they know and understand. And that concludes what my mini lesson would be.